I'm Mel Hefe, president of the Sanford Maine ATV Club, and this is Matt Leggett, our PR guy, and we'd like to welcome Mike Pierre, the Maine State Game Warden. We have some questions because it's mud season and everybody wants to go riding. I know you want to go riding.
I want to go riding.
So we're going to start off with we as in a club are in a difficult position. We have to protect the landowners because without them, there's no place to ride. And you guys all hear me say that all the time. I believe our club members understand this, but I feel as a demographic that might have some animosity towards us for trying to protect privilege we're legitimizing for them. So we want to kind of bring it to you guys to understand about mud season. The state passed legislation on the trails during mud seasons, so this must be a real thing, right?
Right. So if a trail is temporarily closed, no one can operate on it, and that's designated through the club and through signage, either by the landowner's decision or the club's decision. It's posted as a closed trail. It cannot be ridden on.
Right.
So is there like a specific date? Like we hear a lot of people say May 15th.
Yes.
Is May 15th like a date the state is setting, or is that
It's a general framework. That's usually when most spring mud season conditions are alleviated and dried up, but it can exist anytime the club needs to close a trail or anytime the landowner wants to close their trail.
So really those signs are put up by the clubs and by the landowners to protect the land. We're protecting erosion problems. We're protecting the soil from getting washed down stream.
Sure, because we're talking about mud season. But the landowners can close their land at any time. If they want to have an Easter egg hunt, if they want to do logging or recreational activity on their land where a trail occurs, they have the discretion to close it whenever they want. But mud season wise, we're looking for dry soil to prevent erosion or damage to the trails and damage to private property essentially.
Yeah, by working together and having you join us and at least, you know, participating by watching us on YouTube and Facebook, you get the information you need so that you know where you can ride legally and that we can open more places to ride. And that was the idea behind the whole club in the first place.
Some more questions going?
What are the consequences for riding on a closed trail?
So if someone chooses to ride past a closed trail sign on an ATV, they're looking at a ticket, which is a civil violation where they can get a monetary fine. The ATV can be towed for 24 hours and impounded for 24 hours if the officer believes that the conduct that they're doing, which is operating on the closed trail, will continue to occur. Mm-hmm. And the landowner may react to the damage to their property and shut the trail down completely for everyone. So individually you have fines and some liability, and then from the landowner, and you might, that one ATV may be the one who ruins it for the entire club and for everyone else. So the repercussions are individual, landowner, and the entire club and ATV community. So what one person does can affect so many other people. So please respect the trail closure signs.
And to kind of piggyback on that, it's more of a snowmobile question, but off-trail riding still occurs with ATVs. People will go off of the trail, and by definition, I believe I'd have to read again, but the ATV trail is only up to 10 feet wide. And if you leave that, you're now trespassing because we only have permission for that 10-foot area. What kind of trouble could a person get into by doing that?
So if someone's operating an ATV not on a designated trail, not on a land they own or lease, not on a training area, if they're just in the woods or off trail riding, they're going to get a monetary fine, a ticket, summons. Once again, the ATV could be impounded if we think that they're going to continue the behavior, and they're going to lose their, if found guilty, they'll get a monetary fine, and they can lose their licenses that are issued through the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife. So they could lose their ATV registration, their hunting, fishing licenses. It could be not good. So the reason that law was created was to prevent, to create a deterrent for people not to ride on trail they don't have permission.
Right.
So that's pretty severe.
It
Your
is.
fishing license and hunting license.
You could have a bad summer.
Yeah. Because if you look at this is a very common thing I hear from people recreating in Maine, between snowmobiles, boats, ATVs, hunting, fishing, and trapping. The licenses you purchase and the registrations is some of the cheapest entertainment you could have in the outdoors.
Oh yeah.
Usually the money that you're spending is on other things, not the licenses or registration. So Basically, it'd be like going to the movies and someone tells you, hey, you're putting your feet on the back of the chair, you're in trouble, you're not coming back to the movie theater again. So they're not going to sell you a ticket. Basically, that's what it comes down to. Administrative license and registration suspensions.
Did you have any?
Yeah, so thankfully we got a bunch of questions on our Facebook page, which was great. Thanks everyone for submitting them in. I was going to touch on a few of them. The hot one was kids crossing the road between the ages of 10 and 16. Some people feel like they can't cross the road.
Yeah.
So what's the actual law on that?
So the best way to think of it is no one can operate an ATV in Maine until they're 16. The exception of that is between 10 and under 16, they must take an ATV safety course and be accompanied by an adult. Then they can operate the ATV, and accompanied means visual and voice contact with the adult. So that could either be a parent, guardian, or someone who's 21 years old that's accompanying them. Then they can cross the road, then they can ride an ATV. They still have to be accompanied by an adult.
Excellent. So when I take my son who's 12 and we go riding down the trail, we have to cross this road and I'm with him. It's completely legal for him to ride that wheeler across the road.
Once he's taken the ATV safety course and accompanied by dad.
Perfect.
No problem.
All right, we have another one. Snorkels seems to be a hot topic. What's the issue with snorkels? Or what is the law with snorkels?
Right, so in Maine you can't have a snorkel kit installed on an ATV.
Yep.
If you're operating, it's approximate liability. If it's on, that's the violation. The violation isn't that you have to use the snorkel kit to go in water.
Yep.
It's just that if it's installed on the ATV, that is a violation of law. Whether it comes from the manufacturer, you buy it aftermarket, or you bought it and it was already installed that way, is not an exception.
Okay.
It cannot be on the ATV.
So say we did buy a wheeler with a snorkel on it, and the law currently is that we can't have a snorkel. What are some steps that as a club or as an ATV owner, what could we do to maybe change that?
So basically, not just the snorkel, but any of the issues that a recreational group cares about or sees a need for change, that's what the legislative process is for. Mm-hmm. If it's a rule, then obviously going through the rule process with our department. But also talking to your local legislature to see if there's law changes that need to occur.
Awesome. So if you're out there and you've purchased a Renegade or a High Lifter or a Mud Pro, and you want to see that law changed, we don't complain to the game warden about it, because that's not how we're going to go about it. So we need to get together as clubs and maybe petition the state, talk to our local reps or legislatures about making a change. So that's where we need to go with those questions and that information. Maybe start making some phone calls. Maybe we could start a petition or something. So let's go that direction.
If you feel that way about it and you're not a member of the club, maybe you should become a member of the club and help us to craft that legislation. The involvement that you get camaraderie, you get people like me and Matt looking out for you, and we get 40 people working together, building bridges and having a good time, having pizza, and just the whole involvement with the club makes the sport better for everyone. And we need to pass this on to the high school kids. They need to get involved and do the right things so that we can keep doing it. So we don't have to go to a motocross track to ride our ATV or our dirt bike. This is a beautiful state, and we need everybody to be involved with the clubs to make these changes and make things happen. So I want to thank you for coming out.
Not a problem.
I got one more question for you. One more to go. Registration. We get this question a lot at the club.
Oh, yeah.
You're coming from out of state. We love seeing out of state riders. Massachusetts, Connecticut. We get gentlemen came up from Connecticut this weekend to help us on trail work, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
So if you want to register your machine and you live out of state, where can I go to register my four-wheeler?
So basically, it's very easy. They can go online. So you just Google Maine IF&W ATV registration. You can pay the registration fee online. It's legally registered, and then maintain an electric copy of that registration, either as an email that was sent to you as a receipt or as a screenshot of the purchase that shows the vehicle and that it's registered for this year. Yep. And keep that with you. So for non-residents that are coming into the state, they can register their ATVs online. They don't have to go to a town office, and obviously the reason is ATV registration for residents requires an excise tax to be paid to the municipality where it's residing. So Non-residents don't have to pay the excise tax. They just need to pay the registration fee, and it can be done online. Very convenient, very easy.
Awesome. And you just an electric form. I don't even need to put a sticker on my four-wheeler. I just have the electric form on my phone.
Until it arrives in the mail, then you need to display it.
Yep.
But when you initially purchase, even on your drive up or at camp or at wherever you're staying, a friend's house, just keep it on your phone. The electronic copy suffices until you get the registration in the mail to put and display on the ATV.
Great. That's the questions I've got from Facebook.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, happy to help, guys. Yep.
Hey everybody, Wheeling, Maine is a fun and exciting way to enjoy the outdoors. We're lucky to have a lot of riding opportunities, and it's important to respect our landowners. We're all anxious to get out and ride this spring. I know I am. Please be patient and stay off the trails until conditions allow them to open. In the meantime, consider joining our off-road family. We're looking forward to seeing you out on the trails very soon.